Hey guys, Sam the Raid Man back here today. Super excited for today's video. We are actually going away from the clan boss today and going into the arena. Hephrak is my new toy. This is the one I posted about in my community post. Pulled him with a sacred shard when I got mad the other day that I didn't get anything good from ancients. And I built him up as fast as I could, did his masteries, built him out using Hell Hades Optimizer. I didn't take any gear off my Baron, so this is kind of like the second or third, or my Seer, so the third or fourth best Savage gear that I have on my account. But I think it's good enough, and I think his kit is so good that it'll work. For the gear, we went Savage and Cruel, looking for crit rate and crit damage on all of the artifacts with a little bit of speed, and I would glyph up the survivability too, just because he benefits when other people die. He has 32k HP, 5.2k attack, 2.3 defense, 203 speed, full crit rate, 207% crit damage, which isn't super high, but I think it'll be good enough to get the job done, especially with the ignore defense mechanics. Getting into his kit, he has a super cool kit. His A1 hits an extra time if the attack is critical, which it always should be unless it's a weak hit. His A2 Hephrak Scorn attacks all enemies, places an extra hit on targets with less than 50% HP after the first hit. Each hit will ignore 15% of the target's defense. This is an amazing ability. It should hit twice almost every single time. With the Savage and Cruel, it's going to ignore 15% plus the 25, which is 40, plus 5, which is 45. We also have the Helm Smasher Mastery, which can get them all the way up to, is that 70, 60 or 70% ignore defense. So really should smack. He's also got an A3, which gives him extra crit rate and attack. And then he's got and grants an extra turn, which can set himself up. I did build him with 100% crit rate anyway, so this isn't super important, but it is nice to get the increased attack. Sorry, let me turn off those notifications. And then he's got a really cool passive, which is one of my favorite parts of his skill set, which is whenever an ally is killed, instantly activates the Hephrak Scorn, which is his hard-hitting A2, and it does not put the skill on cooldown, which is just, I mean, that's awesome. So one strategy is to build him with a team where someone really squishy just dies, and then he would go in with the A2. We went with down the support tree really just to get, I mean, rapid response is fine, really just get Lore of Steel. I don't think the defense tree helps him a ton, although I guess you could go over for retribution or deterrence. But the A1 isn't the best part of his his skill set, so I don't really think it matters too much. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take him to my damage test over here in Dragon 20. I don't think I have the damage test team set up, so we'll just have to build it real quick. But we'll start with Arbiter. Arbiter is going to be our increased attack buffer. And then let's go to Lydia the Death Siren for decreased defense and weaken. Obviously Hephrak. We'll put Mashald in here for increased attack, increase crit damage. Also, Mashald has a ally attack in dungeons by 34%, which is great. And then lastly, we're going to put in Bad El Khazar, who's going to increase damage by 20% to opponents under poisons. So let's go ahead and start with the setup. Increased attack, decreased defense and weaken, decreased defense to get resisted, one place. Go with the increased attack, increased crit damage. Let's go with poisons on the enemy. All right, so this is it. We're going to take it off auto, slow it down to 1 speed, and we're going to start with the A2. This is what Hephrak is all about, so this has to hit. Zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it. 130, 120 to 120, 76 on the person with no decreased defense, but where decreased defense and weaken was about 250 to 260 damage, which is pretty incredible, guys. I mean, where Lydia landed her debuffs, it just completely killed them. I mean, it was pretty special. Let's go back in here. We'll do the same setup, and then we're going to test out the A1. Decreased defense and weaken, increased crit damage, pretty the usual here. Poisons, it looks like decreased defense and weaken is more across the board. Let's go in with the A1, 70, 74. So 140, 150k damage. So nothing incredible, but definitely good and can be good enough, especially in arena and stuff, to finish people off. One thing I will note about Hephrak is that we're going to go ahead and let this run. But one thing I will note about Hephrak is I don't have any of his books, and that does increase his damage a little bit, but really it also increases his cooldowns. On his A3 that grants him an extra turn, you can, I think, decrease that by 2 turns, and then the Hephrak Score on his main ability, you can decrease down to a 3-turn cooldown. So really, if he's fully booked out, I mean, he can just be a DPS machine, just almost every turn or every other turn using that Hephrak scorn. And while he doesn't bring a lot to bosses, he can be your wave clear. I mean, he is obviously amazing in Arena, which we'll show in a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of run this. I mean, this isn't a team that's really built for this, but I think he's going to out-damage everybody, even Bad L with his poisons and his AoE A1. He doesn't have War Master, so he's not doing much damage on the boss. Mashald, Lydia, and Bad L all have War Master. But, I mean, if I had to guess, he's going to out-damage all of them, probably pretty significantly. Mashald is built for damage. I mean, that's what he's built for, damage in Hydra. But as you can see, Hephrak scoring there, another 250k damage. Him being pretty fast, he's going semi-often. 60, it's 120k right there. I mean, this guy really just brings the nukes all around, all day long. And again, this isn't even fully optimized. Like, I have better gear, but as you can see here, the damage, pretty spectacular. Pretty much doubled Bad Alcazar, carried this team in terms of damage. One thing I do want to see is Baron has my best Savage gear, and I know Baron is supposed to be better, so let's just do a quick test with Baron to see what he hits like with the current gear in the same setup versus Hephrak. So Hephrak with decreased defense and weekend, we hit about 250 to 260. So we're going to do the exact same setup here for Baron. He's got the Savage gear on. 200? I mean, Hephrak beat Baron, and I understand that the higher the opponent's defense gets, Baron's ignoring a little more defense, but just in general, Hephrak hits harder as long as he meets those conditions to get that second ability off, or second hit off. So this is the arena team we're going to want to run with today. Not even really fully optimized, but Ursuga's in here to soak up some damage. I have her in a bolster set, so a shield set that can't be removed. I have Necrit here to protect Hephrak, and he is in a shield set, so those two will stack. And then he's going to protect Hephrak and give him some ally attacks as well. Unless there's a cleanser, should keep block debuffs on and keep Hephrak pretty protected. And then we'll provide a shield if he gets hit for too hard. Sorry, I'm kind of going through his kit. There's a lot of stuff going on here. If you haven't seen Necrit, I would go search him for a video. He's got too much going on for me to really explain. And then we just went over Hephrak's kit. And then for Kymar, we're going to start with a buff strip, so they're making sure there's no unkillables or block debuffs or increased defense, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and probably stop talking after a little while just because this is like 7 minutes of me just clearing out my arena pages. There are a few interesting fights, this being one of them. So you can see Necrat's protecting him. He's not getting any debuffs. Everyone else is stunned. Everyone else has decreased accuracy, and he has none of that. He's just sitting pretty. So we're going to go ahead and here with the A2. And this actually shows a mistake because he doesn't even have increased attack on, so we should have applied his own increased attack. But you're also watching me. I have not used him in arena. This is my first go through with him in the arena. And we had Kymar with a reset. Again, no increased attack, which was a mistake, but still, I mean, just easy. And the Necrat Hephrak combo is pretty amazing, guys. I mean, it is pretty special. So we actually do go first here. So we're going to go ahead and with the sleep, and they're going to take their turns. Let's do the ally attack here, and then we're going to go into Lysandra because she's got the most health. And then we get an extra turn, so we'll just go ahead and protect Kymar. And then Hephrak scorn. Again, no increased attack. We'll fix that, and I think in a little bit we'll start using that. I don't think I realized that I didn't have an increased attack in the team. I think I'm so used to running Arbiter on my teams. So again, we're losing the speed race. We might lose this one, guys. So Madame Saris is pretty tough counter to this team because she does pull off that ally protection. But she can't remove that shield because it's coming from the bolster set and the shield set, which is really, really cool. So I don't know if we can survive here. Ursuga's soaking up a lot of damage, but she's going to go down pretty soon. I think we might need to... So we didn't get any double hits off there because we didn't reach him to half health, which really stinks here. That's pretty tough. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this out, guys. This is getting hard. Let's go ahead and buff ourselves, which will get rid of the decreased attack. Okay, awesome. So the difference of, and you can see there, the difference of decreased attack versus no decreased attack and increased attack, massive. I mean, just one shot him there versus barely, not even getting him down to half health on the previous attempt. So this one, pretty simple team, pretty easy team, but Mithrala is difficult because you can't really debuff her, and most of the time she's built pretty tanky. So Kymar should go down pretty easily, as we see, but I'm going to go ahead and let this run on auto, and I'll come back to you guys at the end. But I hope you do enjoy this. I enjoyed it. I thought it was just a blast fighting with Hephrak and just watching him tear apart these teams. And this isn't the best team to run him with, but I thought it was a pretty easy team where I didn't have to rebuild most of my main champions. And, I mean, it worked pretty well. I think I may have lost once. So, I mean, really just pretty fast, too, kind of speed farming and just running through these arena teams. So, again, hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, going to cut back in here. I mean, as we've seen multiple times, Hephrak coming in super clutch. The A3 ability, I think I underrated a little bit, but him providing himself that increased attack is awesome. I do think you can't count on his increased crit rate. I wouldn't build him with 70% crit rate because, for example, say Kymar goes down, when he attacks with his A2, he's only going to have 70% crit rate because he hasn't buffed himself. But in general, I would open with the buff if I were to set this up again. And he just, I mean, he got a Duchess there. I mean, he is just not afraid of anybody. He does have a small weakness against force affinities like Canderfon, but most of the time he should be able to hit twice on those opponents. Even with a weak hit, he might be able to get him down to half health because his attack is so high. And if he does that, then he's got a better chance of getting one of them not to be a weak hit. So he is awesome. He killed a Rotos there. He's one of the great champions. Baron struggles against Rotos. Hephrak, no issues. You will see some of the unkillable champions like Skullcrown or Leorius giving him some trouble, but with this shield, they shouldn't be able to hit him back, and really, you lower them down to 1 HP, you let them hit you. Once their unkillable drops off, you finish them off. You can see here is A3 or A2 activating, gets him a little bit with the increased tag, makes a big difference, wipes out everyone else. Umbral's not going to do anything. So, guys, I'm just so happy. I didn't expect to pull this champion. He wasn't on the ×10 when I pulled. Not the champion I was expecting, but he is maybe my new favorite champion in the game. I love Hephrak, guys. I think he is just so awesome. Anyways, I had a blast making this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would really appreciate it if you guys left a like and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to making more videos for you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next one.